This video is brought to you by volunteeraudio.com, your #1 source for all things Harley Davidson audio. From individual radios, speakers, and amps to complete plug-and-play amp and speaker systems, we've got you covered. And once you've ordered your package from Volunteer Audio, it includes lifetime tech support. And we have the very best step-by-step installation video so you can install it yourself and save money. Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Making a quick video to show you this beautiful 2020 Harley Davidson Ultra Limited and to show you the awesome audio package that we're fixing to install on it. We're going to do the Hertz HSP2, also what we call our Stage 4 Hertz upgrade to this Ultra Limited with SV165 Neos in the tour pack, SX165 Neos 6.5-inch coaxials in the fairing, a huge 2,000 watt Hertz SP4.900 amp, and to top it all off, we're putting in the new Soundstream HSP2 radio. It's going to be awesome. Hang out. We're going to tear it down, quickly get it back together, and let you hear what it sounds like. All right, I want to take a second. I want to go over exactly what you get when you order a Hertz Stage 4 kit from volunteeraudio.com. First off, I just told you about the SX165 Neo 6.5-inch speakers we're going to be putting in the fairing. This thing is waterproof, it's direct fit, it's super efficient with the neodymium magnet. It's going to make the music super loud and super clear. We're also going to change out those factory cloth grills. They look terrible, to our Hertz mesh grills to go on the fairing. It's going to make it look a lot better. Then we have the SV165 Neo mid-bass. Again, a waterproof speaker, but a true mid-bass with no tweeter. It's going to use that tour pack as an enclosure and give us really good mid-bass. Now to get that good mid-bass, we're going to need a lot of power. So we have our Hertz SP4.900 complete plug-and-play amp. When you order this from Volunteer Audio, it is truly plug-and-play. We're one of the few companies that actually has an amp that you plug in and it's ready to go. So it's pre-wired to plug right into the back of the radio, comes with the power and ground to run back to the battery, but all the settings on the amp are already done, so you don't have to take this cap off. Gains are set, filters are set, it's even marked SS for our Soundstream radio. Let's talk about that radio for a second. So we have our Soundstream Reserve HDHU14SI. This thing is Sirius XM ready, it has Apple CarPlay, it has Android Auto, but most of all, it has a much better sounding input for our amplifier. And with that 13-band EQ and the built-in high-pass and low-pass filters, much better sound control. All of this is going to come, everything you need to put in a bike, just like you're seeing in this video, when you buy the package from Volunteer Audio. We make it very easy to make sure you get everything that you need to do this job right the first time. But first step should always be putting a fender protector on the front fender. Believe it or not, you can drop a screwdriver and it land on the soft part of the handle, the part you normally hold, and it will dent this fender. So definitely put something over it so if you accidentally drop something while in the fairing, you don't damage your bike. Okay, here we are again. We got a system that shows up. We're told it's hog tunes. That's what the grills say. We get in here and we find out, look how terrible this is. They put a speaker that didn't even fit the pod. We got a JL audio amplifier. That amplifier, everything has been cut to install it. We've got a wiring mess. This is why it's so important when you go somewhere and you talk about audio, especially car audio shops. We're a car audio shop too. We do cars, trucks, boats, side-by-sides. We got to talk and we got to make sure that they know what they're doing. Are they going to cut up your harnessing? Are they going to use the right parts? If they start talking about cutting wiring, run, because it's not going to be right. You're not going to be happy with it. Now we got a little bit of work to do. We'll take this amp out. We'll repair all of this wiring. We'll show you how we do it so that our plug-and-play system will all go in beautifully. All right, so in the back, we've got a hybrid audio. Looks like it's a 5 1/4. These are definitely not a 5 1/4 provision. It's got an old strontium magnet. You'll see when we go to put ours in. Neo magnet, larger overall cone that's going to seal in here so that we can use that tour pack as a good enclosure to get that better mid-bass. Absolutely terrible. Shame on you, whoever did this. Don't know who it was, and if I did, I really don't bash people on here anyway, so we wouldn't talk about them. But you got to make sure whoever you use actually uses good components and knows what they're doing. I've got this mess out of here, putting it exactly where it belongs, in the trash. Also checked, this bike did not ever get flashed, so the correct flash wasn't done in a stock radio. No problem. We would normally flash it if we were keeping it, but instead we're going to put that new Soundstream radio in there, so no need to flash it, and the amp's completely perfectly set for that. Now I got a few minutes worth of work, getting all these wires that they cut loose, put back together. Then we'll start rolling on with it and getting it done. So a half hour ago we started, we found out somebody had really just messed all the wiring up. So now I've repaired all of the wiring. They cut it short, so we had to lengthen each one, but the wiring has now been fixed. Everything was military spliced, it's been heat shrunk. We don't have to worry about it now giving us a problem. So we're fixing to get on to Robbie. He should be taking these front pods off, putting in our new Hertz SX165 Neos. We'll pull the radio out, we'll go over all that with you. But we're fixing to hop to the back because these guys are getting bored watching me fix wiring. So they've already got our power and our ground running our gas tank, and I'm going to show you the rear speakers going into those Tour Pack pods. All right, so when you get your SV165 Neo from Volunteer Audio, we have optional grills. I think they look great. They're very inexpensive. Definitely check these out. Add them to your cart. Now I want to show you this original speaker, just the size. This makes no sense at all. Don't buy car speakers and put in your motorcycle, number one. Hybrid audio makes a good speaker for your car. This is not one of those cases. Nothing about this is waterproof, completely wrong size. I mean, I think I could put it in the, look at it. I mean, if you don't know that's the wrong size. I just put it in backwards, upside down. Anyways, this speaker being a Neo magnet, it's going to clear your Tour Pack without having to have any kind of spacer or adapter. So as you see on this one that we've already put in, there's nothing making it stick out. It gives you plenty of room for your passenger in the back, and it fits that pod without any modifications. So super easy to put in. Having the right parts make your job so much easier. When we put a speaker in, factory, there are some rubber grommets here. Those rubber grommets, if you tighten them down, a lot of times they have a tendency to pull out. We don't want our speaker to fall out going down the road. So we're going to rotate our speaker just slightly over to where we have fresh plastic, and we're going to screw straight into those Tour Pack pods with the screws that come with the speakers or the grills. It's just a sharp, pointy screw that goes straight into that plastic, and it's not going to pull those rubber grommets out, and you're not going to lose your speaker going down the road. And because this speaker has a lot more power and a lot more mid-bass presence than those stock speakers, we're going to make sure we have a better way of mounting it. All right, so Robbie's got the radio out. He's doing something here that this little step makes things so much easier. If you'll unplug these data cables from this plate, he's going to remove these two little plastic, well, he's going to do a couple little zip tie holders. He's also going to remove these two plastic Phillips screw looking quick pins. Once he pulls those out, you're going to see that plate's going to come out of the way and make it much easier to get to our speaker pod. Now make sure at the end you plug in each one of these data cables. If you don't plug them back in, your bike's not going to start. Things aren't going to work as you would hope. As you see, he's got one more he's releasing here on the end. This is actually our throttle control. This little one here is the throttle control. So if you don't plug it back in, you're not going to have throttle either. So just make sure that everything you take out, you plug back in and you put back in place where it goes. Yeah, you'll see the 3 bolts that he's getting access to. So those 3 are the hardest to see, the hardest to get to with your tools. Once this plate's out of the way, you have a good way to get in and get them out. And we're doing that because those 3 hold our front speaker pod in place. We're going to remove those 3, the 3 Allen heads around the perimeter of this pod, take that pod off, we'll see what speaker's in there, and show you just how much better the ones we have are going to be as we put it back together. Let's take a second, let's talk speakers. So this is what I just pulled out of the pod. This is made by Hybrid Audio. It is got a weatherproof kind of cover here in the middle, but still the wrong type of speaker for a Harley. It's got a strontium magnet. It fit in our Street Glide pod, but in a Road Glide pod, you'd have to modify the pod to make this fit. While if we look at our new Hertz speaker, it has a neodymium magnet. Makes it lighter weight, less weight at the top of your fairing. It's going to give you better handling. It's also going to drop in either pod without modification, but the key is this magnet, even though it looks substantially smaller, is so much more powerful. It's going to give us better power handling. It's going to give us better dissipation of heat. There's no harsher element to put a speaker through than putting it on a Harley Davidson. The vibration, the heat, the longevity of listening to it so loud. Nothing else do you listen to at pretty well max volume for hours on end. This speaker is designed to take that abuse and continue to work. It's the only speaker that I've ever seen that the tweeter itself has a protection circuit in it. that if you send it a clip signal for too long, it'll actually turn itself down rather than blowing. That's one of the weak part of most speakers. But this is going to be a direct drop into our pod. It's going to directly hook up to our original wiring, and it's going to be a much better speaker. Again, weatherproof, water sealed, such a better speaker for this Harley. All right, so all too often we get calls going, hey, where do I put all this wiring? Because we've got a plug-and-play harness on our amp. We also have a harness that comes with our Soundstream radio with our Maestro module. Now the key is we want to make sure that we put that Maestro MRR or MRR2 up high. We don't want to leave it hanging down low. There is room down here and things would fit. We don't want it just loose hanging there. We don't want water to run down the wiring and into that module. So no matter what it is, even if it's got conformal coated boards, we want to keep as much water off of it as possible. So in this case, I want to point out, we took our MRR2, this is our Soundstream harness right here, and we've put our module in this pocket right next to that storage pocket where the USB is for your phone. You can put this here and that allows us to run over to this side. All of our amp wiring is run across the top, and normally it'd look a little cleaner than this, but this is a 2020 model. 2020 have an extra box normally up here. It's a security module that I've had to tuck in this side part. This bike also has additional lighting. It also has a garage door opener. There's so many extra things in the fairing. It's very difficult to make it look really clean, but it's still a good bike to show you how the wiring from the amp is run up to the top, run around and down here, and we're actually able to put that other factory radio connector up in this pocket here to the right of the radio. So Maestro on this side, original radio connector in here. Also those additional plugs that would have went to something like rear speaker connector or possibly even the WIM connector. These different accessory connectors are all up here in here. So we don't have them just hanging out in the fairing. It's much cleaner. We've got our single headlight plug out and we're gonna have a really easy time of putting our fairing on and taking it off. We've got to put our vent back here on top. We're gonna get our fairing back on. We're so close to getting to listen to it, do our polarity test and see just how awesome the system sounds. All right, so we've got the bike back together. We've powered up our radio and we've went to Volunteer Audio's YouTube channel and we've brought up our speaker polarity test track. So when you play this track on YouTube, it's going to sound like a couple little pops. You hear these in the background here. We'll take our polarity tester and we're going to hold them in front of our speaker and we're going to let it listen to the speaker. All right, so now you're either going to get 3 red and 1 green or 3 green and 1 red flash. We're going to compare it to our other locations. All right, so if you paid attention, you saw both of our back speakers had 3 red flashes and a green flash. Both fronts are 3 green and a red. Now we just want to make a match, so whichever one is the easiest to pull and swap the wiring is what we got to do. So we want to take the positive and negative, we're going to reverse them to make sure all of our speakers are firing the same direction. That way we're going to get good full mid bass. Now I keep talking about this in videos. Listen, we don't make any money selling these tools. They cost very little, you pay very little. The reason we want you to get a polarity tester and we want you to test your system, we know the end result will be so much better. Your mid bass will be better. The system sounds better. Your friends will be jealous. They'll be buying more systems from Volunteer Audio. That's what keeps everything going. We want you to have the best experience possible, the best end result. So polarity testing is important. We do 300-400 bikes a year. We still polarity test every system because just like you saw here, when we get done, they can be backwards too. It's not that we did something wrong. It's not that you're going to do something wrong. It's Harley's inconsistency in their wiring. From year to year, the tour packs are wired opposite from the front. Now, yes, some people ask me, have you ever polarity checked it before? If you polarity check it before, it will be backwards as well. But we're going to go ahead and take care of this. We're going to pull the back speakers out. We're going to swap those wires, and then we're going to let you hear what this system sounds like. All right, so the bike's turned on, the install's complete. We've done our polarity test, and we've even fixed the polarity issue we had at the Tour Pack speakers. So now we're gonna play you some copyright-free music. I hate copyright-free music, but that's all we can play. This is the same music we use on the opening. Somebody said in a video we did a week or two back, hey, why don't you ever play your opening song? So we're gonna do that. I want you to hear just how awesome this system sounds. Now, I wanna let you know, this system with this big amp and these awesome speakers is going to be loud enough to hear at any speed. I know we're standing in a garage. We're listening to it here. We have other videos where we've done riding footage and long, long walkaways. If you don't believe me in this video, listen to some of those. Also, we just did a bike for Tony Robinson. Tony's bike turned out beautiful, and he did a great job giving us riding footage at 70 and 80 plus miles an hour. So let's listen to it here, let you hear just how clear it is and how awesome it sounds here in the shop. Wow, it's loud. It is so loud, it's hard to talk over. It's hard to hear anything other than this. I mean, we just did one the other day. We started the bike up, we revved up, let you hear just how much louder it was than the exhaust. Now, with this Soundstream HD HU14SI, not only does it sound awesome right now, but with that 13 band EQ, we can go in and we can tweak it to your liking. Some people are sensitive to treble. And when you're riding down the road, you can hear a lot of treble. Some people see that as clarity and they love it. Some people think it's a little bright. If that be the case, you can go in and simply turn the treble down some. That's going to make it where you also hear more bass. This thing sounds awesome. I know Billy is going to be tickled with his bike, tickled with the sound, and anything he wants, we can tweak it in and make it sound even better to his liking in his ears instead of just mine. Thank you so much for watching. If you want your bike upgraded like this, visit volunteeraudio.com. We have the best plug-and-play packages and the best step-by-step install videos. Everything we did here in fast speed and you just saw, we have in little 3 to 5 minute videos showing you step-by-step how you can do this yourself. If you don't want to do it at all and you want Volunteer Audio to do it, you want to come here and you want to meet us, we would love to meet you. We'd love to have you here. We'd love to do your bike also. Give us a call at 1-844-30-AUDIO. That's where we'll go over options. We'll go over pricing. We'll set up appointments. And if you want to do it yourself still, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We'll work within your budget, within what kind of bike you have, what genre of music you listen to, and we'll build the perfect system with you so you have the best end result. We'd love to have you come and visit. Even if you do it yourself, come to the shop, visit us, and listen to each one of the options. Everybody hears things differently. No one speaker fits everybody's needs. That's why we carry several different brands, and we feel we have the best at each type of sound and at each price point. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please click the little like button. That moves us up in YouTube search results. It helps other people see the video. It helps Volunteer Audio so much, and we appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel to learn about the latest in Harley audio. As it comes out, we'll show it to you. We'll do reviews on it. We'll show you how to install it, and we'll show you how to use it. So if you make that purchase, you have the best end result, and that's really what we're worried about. We want you, after you've made the purchase, to be extremely happy. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.